I'm exhausted and stressed out, but at least now I know for sure that I will never, ever live with my boyfriend. A lot has happened this month, including my boyfriend Ray and I starting to move in together, but that's all coming to an end. This morning, I messaged him saying maybe we shouldn't do it. And even though I softened things with maybes and I want to hear how you feel, it's my final call. I've already made up my mind. But before I get into all the stressful details, a quick background. My dad passed away earlier this month from pneumonia. Rest in peace. And Ray was extremely supportive. He took me out to eat while I was at the hospital and brought stuff for my dad. He was very caring over text too, and messaged me, "I'm always here for you," 3 times. Yes, I went back and counted. It had felt like we had finally crossed into a new phase in our relationship where we were no longer on different sides, fighting about everything. That we were finally in a harmonious partnership. It was during this time that my rental opened up, and he offered to help be there when technicians came to make repairs. At one point, when we were both there, he said, I could live here. And that's how everything started. It was only a side comment, but it gave way to what seemed like a great opportunity for us to move in together. Something I had been hoping for within the next 1 to 2 years. At least, I was planning to move out of my family home by then, and with my dad hospitalized at the time, it felt like a good idea to plan ahead. We eventually agreed to it, and we started moving things in slowly. But the last 2 times we were at the condo rental, things went sour. He was negative again. He was nasty again. And it took me back to dark times. Times when he was in a bad mood. When things escalated. And when he was quote-unquote frustrated. 2 days ago, he didn't like the brunch place I picked. He agreed to the place, and even said it was okay to still go after I asked for confirmation once we got there. And, let me remind you, this is not the first time he's agreed to a place, only for him to be in a bad mood the whole time. So I'm always checking if things are okay, but even that wasn't enough. At the restaurant, he wouldn't talk much, and the things he did say were all in a very bad tone, like, "How long have we been waiting?" Or, "I'm never coming back here again." He would go to the bathroom or do stuff on his phone without saying anything. After brunch, we went to Costco and did some cleaning at the rental, and I left first. He later texted me that day to apologize for being grumpy, saying that it wasn't my fault and that he loved me. I appreciated that, but this was way beyond a first-time occurrence. I am not okay with the constant, sorry, move on, do it again, sorry, move on, do it again. I brought it up yesterday, explaining how it was very important to me that he communicate what he was doing or where he was going when we were out, especially if he was in a bad mood. I told him that I felt miserable the day before, and he blew up on me, exactly like how he used to, shouting, saying nasty things, and quickly accusing me of hypocrisy, gaslighting, and much more. And whenever he asked me a question, he wouldn't even care for me to answer. He'd just keep talking and end the conversation before I could say anything. That's when I confirmed that even after all that we've gone through, after all the "I will always be here for you and I'll do anything for you," he was so quick to turn on me. He didn't care to understand how I felt and why I felt it. He didn't care to find solutions for our relationship. He was laser focused on how he felt, and only how he felt. Sure, I'm not perfect, but I value remaining calm in stressful times, trying to understand how we each feel, and thinking of ways to avoid problems in the future. It's safe to say that our relationship has been tested by the extremes, and now, I'm confident that he will not change. I know, it's sad, but it's the truth. I carefully responded to him this morning, taking the blame for having the wrong idea about our relationship, and agreeing to an idea that he brought up earlier that implied we should live separately. I was actually surprised he brought it up previously, as I had been thinking about it for a while myself. But he's also said in the past that he can't have the same workplace as a significant other, being around them all the time. And sure, I can be like that too sometimes, depending on the situation, but for him to say that with zero flexibility is a revelation that things tend to sour when he's around the same people for too long. And when you put everything together, Ray is simply not someone suitable for long-term cohabitation. Period. I was investing so much emotion and effort into making this condo a home for us, and honestly, he was too. But he threw it all away with his explosive tantrums. He either thinks his tantrums aren't as bad as they are, or he's just totally unable to control his emotions. I think it's both. At the same time, he probably feels misunderstood too. But we need to be able to communicate better, and he absolutely needs to learn to manage his emotions. Honestly, I probably shouldn't even be with him anymore. But I've already fallen in love. And the best course of action now is probably just to keep living separately. Separate homes, separate finances, separate lives. It's not the life I envisioned for myself. But what can I do? I'm trapped.